Welcome back, Kerbalots. So as last we left, we were looking at our little space station here that we managed to land on the surface, although the landing legs aren't doing a whole lot of good. Someone engineered them poorly and needed to put them down a few feet. Well, good thing we tested this on Minmus. This would not have worked very well on the moon. We have Bill here. We wanted to get out and actually see something as opposed to just sitting in the spacecraft the whole time and not really doing anything useful. He seems happy. Gonna go ahead and plant a flag. Alright, let's go ahead and take, I like how you're flying here. Oh, we're actually in the lowlands. Huh. Technically we're in the flat, well, we look like we're in the flats, but technically we're in the lowlands. So, Minmus is, like I was saying before, Minmus is basically an asteroid. And it might be a fairly practical way to get around. The gravity would just not be very high on an asteroid. Although a real asteroid would have less gravity than even this. On the right side? Yeah. Okay. Oops. Silly scientist. Only they can touch the goo. This is a shaky spacecraft. Well, we'll get some more data here to observe, and we'll get Bob up here. Whoops. I clicked the wrong button. Oh. Good, we have full data. Cool. Let's go ahead and take the temperature. I'm actually going to transmit this because there's a mission to transmit science from the surface. We'll collect the sample for later use, so we get the whole data source. We'll also keep this. Yep, we really are pretty full. Cool. We'll have Bill jump down and collect the temperature readings because we don't want to stop the science. The science is all important. Bob's in there doing important research, so we'll let the engineer screw around. He wanted to see the outside of the spacecraft anyways, make sure that everything looked fine. Make sure the engine bell worked fine. In reality, engine bell here, ugh, it would be horrible. It would not work very well. Alright, let's go ahead and do a crew report. Boy. So there's actually a few biomes that are close. Unfortunately, we don't have any way to get our instruments to a different spot short of actually physically picking them up and moving them. I'm a little worried about our precarious landing. We could probably go more into the flat so that we get into the flat zone, but we're not going to try to do the slopes. Tell you what though, let's do this. No! Clumsy Kerbal. It was bound to happen. Oh well. Whee! This is what you get for running on the surface, boy. Yeah, solar panels in real life are very fragile. It's part of why one of the most dangerous things that can be done on this real spacecraft is anything to do with the solar panels, because you can't actually turn them off. Still in the lowlands? How's my... Oh, good. I got plenty. That's a long ways down there. I'm still in the lowlands. I thought I would turn into slopes here, but guess not. Oh, okay. Time to stop and head down. I'll try really hard not to kill you, Bill. I don't think he heard us. Whoops. Man, we are still going up. We're actually going to fire our thrusters down a bit. Hardly looks like we're moving. We're moving almost completely horizontally. Good. Still in the slopes, or in the lowlands. I was hoping we would run into the slopes terrain, but it looks like we didn't. Usually if you land right at the edge, you can actually get 3 different biomes. But we didn't. Ah, Great Flats. Well, let's go ahead and slow down. Okay, we're just going vertical. Wow. Real life, real astronaut would not have survived that very well. Especially on the head. Ah, it's a good thing Kerbal's a little bit more bouncy than real humans. Where? Oh, there it is. How did we get this far away? Wow. Well, we'll take a surface sample. How much fuel do we got? We still got plenty. Speed this up. That's more than fast enough. Okay. So otherwise this would just take forever. This is about how far any of the moonwalkers actually got from their base station. A couple kilometers. Of course, they used the rover to do that. And we don't have a rover. They actually did go a fairly decent distance. Sorry about that. Windows decided that I was pushing too many keys, pushing the shift key too many times. And so it wanted to turn on sticky keys for me. No thank you. There we go, that's a nice. Didn't mean to skip like that, but it's not worth redoing the episode. And I'm gonna have to turn off sticky keys here. If I do that, I'll jump again, and I'm gonna take a jump here anyways, because we're basically gonna do a whole bunch of research. So this mission's gonna stay on the surface of the planet for a little while. You can see from our missing solar panel that this must be where we left. Come on, don't knock over our spacecraft. Whew. I got the wrong report. Oh well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the right report. I haven't even been researching this whole time. Bad me. So we're gonna get 5 science per day, and it's gonna take some time. We're gonna stay on the surface here for a little while, collect a whole bunch of science, because the main reason why we haven't gone to another planet is because we just don't have the science to do it. I mean, we could do a small mission to Duna or to Gilly, which is a moon of Eve, the Venus, even though there's no planet Venus really. I mean, there's no moon of Venus. Gilly is just a little asteroid. Eve is a lot like Venus, other than Venus has a thicker atmosphere and less gravity than Eve. There goes my sticky keys warning again. Sorry about that. I really need to turn that off. Well, I'm going to put a cut in here. I'll just collect the sample, get back in the spacecraft, and let it run for a couple of days just to collect some, a couple hundred days just to collect some good science, and I will cut back to you when we're about ready to take off. And I'm back. So, just wanted to point out a couple of things here. Here, I'll turn the zoom just a little bit higher. One of the big problems that I've noticed we have here is we don't really have enough electrical charge to make it all the way through the night. We might if we were on Mun, but we certainly do not for Minmus, which is a little bit. I think it has a deeper night cycle. Well, it seems like we did fine there. It seems like we're really only losing power when we are trying to transmit the science, which you haven't seen yet. Seem to have plenty of solar power despite having a few missing panels, which is good. Probably wouldn't have enough further out, but I think overall, this is a decent design, and I think we can take this mission out a little bit further. So, they're gonna go ahead and risk it. We have plenty of fuel. We're gonna give this a shot at landing. Boy, here goes. Actually, we want to tilt a lot more. Okay. Now, still in the lowlands. Probably should have gone more. Ooh, we're really in a bad direction. We have plenty of power. Plenty of fuel. Okay. I am going to... got plenty of altitude. I'm gonna go ahead and just point this straight in the direction that we want to go. Where's the sun? Yeah, we'll be okay. Oh, see, there's Kerbal there. Hey Kerbal, how you doing? It's hard to know exactly where. Whoa. We are way higher. I still want surface though. Okay. So let's see here. Finally over the Great Falls. Man, we used a lot of fuel. We really need to get a rover. Wait, that's right. We want to head straight down. So we'll actually head towards the retrograde marker. Stable. So the retrograde marker, you tend to push it. So we want to head straight down. We want to push this away such that it lines up there. Perfect. We're still going up. Okay, so we have almost no horizontal speed at this point in time. We're gonna go ahead and chase retrograde. This is absolutely horribly botched, I'm sorry. Don't do what I'm doing here, guys. We really need to have a rover. We're gonna do that the next time we come to one of these places. See if I can get a rover on our science lab when we take it to Mon. We're a little too fast. Yeah, we should have gone vertical about 200 meters and then turned almost pure horizontal. Well, luckily we have plenty of fuel. I forget these light bodies, just what you can do. And, you know, imagine like Philly for the Rosetta lander, or the Philly for the Rosetta orbiter, which was the lander that landed on a comet. The comet has almost no gravity. They dropped it, and 7 hours later it fell at terminal velocity. It was just a few feet per second. Sticking to that just has to be incredibly difficult. So they actually had to take a harpoon to sink it in. Now this has enough gravity where we can actually do a landing, but actually, I'm going to look at my suicide burn. Suicide burn was off. It's a good thing I did it a little early. I think we're stable. So we're going to send Bob out. It's going to collect some temperature readings, some pressure readings. Whoops. Take data. There we go. It's on the wrong side to... Rather than have him fly around, we learned our lesson when Bill tried to. We're going to transfer Bob to the top one so that he can come out the right door to reset this experiment. Collect data and restore. And collect data, restore. We'll observe the goo. We're going to go ahead and collect the data, and we may as well restore it just in case we have an interesting situation. I don't think we will. Okay, so it won't hurt to collect a little bit of extra science. The trip home will be a couple of days. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and dump a pressure reading into here. There, we got some more data. Yay. Oh, we have room for more data. It's somewhat realistic, this data storage. I'll have... I'm going to go ahead and put the storage sample in the top. So we're going to do a crew report. And then we'll do another one. Keep this one. Good. Okay, how are we doing? We have the surface sample from the Great Flats, and then we'll keep everything else. Okay, perfect. So now we got starting research. Got Bob doing some research. The labs are somewhat realistic. Oh, there's a satellite that wants us to have orbit Minmus. Maybe we'll do it. Let's just go ahead and take off. Let's see here. We'll do the same 90 degree that we normally do. You'll notice that it's in a different direction than normal. Now, there we go. Wow, I cannot hit the right keys. We're going to do a much flatter orbit than we would normally do on Kerbin. This looks scary. It looks like we're going to go right into the mountain, but we're actually, you know, look at this. We're already have an apoapsis that's super high. We're not even going to come close to hitting that mountain. So let's just zoom on by. was like, yeah, good mission. Oh, I may as well wait until we're at the optimum point. It just amazes me, the low gravity, what a difference it makes in the orbits. You know, Earth, Moon, Mars all have a pretty similar orbital period. I think Moon and Mars, or Earth and Mars are both about 90 days for the lowest orbit, and I think the Moon is a little bit less. It has to do with the density, I think. Something interesting like that. There's all kinds of crazy stuff. Sorry, I'll have to look that up offline and get you the truth, because I don't want to lie to you guys. Okay. So we want to cancel out our orbital velocity. So let's try and maneuver about here. That's not at the right spot. So we're trying to cancel out the orbital velocity. That's pretty close. Oh. Let's see if we can get an even better, like right there. Really? Oh, that's way. Okay. Wow, this is okay. So we're gonna warp to our next maneuver. We're still going pretty low. You can actually set a synchronous orbit around Minmus such that you pass over the Great Plains and you can be just a few feet above the surface. It's just insane what I've seen some people do. I think Jebediah he's a little bit was hoping to get another EVA, but nope. No such luck. Real smart having the pilot jump out of the spacecraft when it's not even pointed the right direction a few seconds before. Real EVAs take a long time to get ready for. Like, in many cases, they'll actually sleep on it to get the right air mixture. They'll get in, sleep in a chamber that has the right air pressure for the spacesuit, because the spacesuits use less pressure than inside the cabin. They use pretty much pure oxygen, but pure oxygen is dangerous when you have electronics, so they keep it that way. The reason why spacesuits have less pressure is if you had too much pressure, spacesuits are kind of like a balloon. You would you couldn't push on it. Oh, what's our... I think we're gonna slow down a little bit. I think we're coming in too fast. We used way too much fuel. Haha. We actually canceled out all of our... I should have gone the other way. I should have kept burning. Oh well. One thing we definitely have enough of is fuel. Okay. We want to just go a smidgen slower, or faster. Because 53 won't really cut it. There, 40. Perfect. Might have to do more than... I don't want to do more than one pass. We have a heat shield, we'll be fine. Alright then, let's just warp on out of here. So anyways, I was saying, the spacesuits, they found that if you have 1 atmosphere of pressure, then they're so bulky that you just can't move them. So they have to partially deflate them in order to get them to work, but in order to do that effectively, then you have to breathe pure oxygen. So because the body takes some time to get used to a new temperature regime, then they don't want to have the astronauts, you know, stuck like that for forever. So we have so much extra fuel. We're going to burn a little bit of it off. We're going to do this as close to the perigee as we can reasonably do it. If you do it further away, then it can actually raise your perigee, and we don't want to do that. But we're just about there. Our solar panels will fly off. In reality, they probably would have been stuck to this lower stage, which would have been released a couple hours before, and the final part of the mission would go on batteries. But it's Kerbal Space Program. We're going to do a few things a little different. Actually, you see our periapsis is lowering because of our thrusting here. Those solar panels all will fly off, and that's okay. Solar panels are flying off. This is actually fairly similar to what the booster does for a Falcon 9 recovery. Fairly similar, although it's not quite as much weight. But yeah, the thrust to weight ratio is not that great for this either. So how are we doing? We're doing an okay speed. Our periapsis is negative, so we are coming down. We're coming down pretty steep. It'll be fine. We're moving slow enough. We may as well get all of this fuel, have something useful done with it. We might even be able to land the booster if we're real lucky. Although, I don't think we should try it. We don't really have enough parachutes. Look at all these guys, they're happy to be home. Way to go, Kerbals. The only thing that we have that's remotely like this in reality is the Falcon booster core recovery, where you're burning in the atmosphere in a retrograde manner. I don't know. Maybe we can try it. I don't have to. You can always drop the booster if it's obvious that we're not going to make it. Yeah. But it's still slowing us down. Oh, we'll drop the parachutes. And we ran out of fuel. So we will not be able to survive. Pity. Well, thanks, Booster. It's been lovely. Hope you don't crash too hard. If we'd saved a little bit of fuel, we might have been able to land it. But that's okay. One thing, as noted, NASA actually studies the Falcon booster recovery because it's a good analog to entering Mars. It's a nice slowdown. Yep, a rocket booster stage disintegrated, and that's okay. Just for the fun of it, do I have... I don't have that one. How about that? Oh, this is bad. Oh, there's only a little bit of science. Nope, no electrical charge. I'm probably going to lose this science. You have to transmit the science, which is not very realistic, but that's how it is in Kerbal Space Program. The individual items, you collect them, you get better results if you study them on the ground, but the science you research on orbit, you have to transmit. You can't take it back. Fairly soft landing. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and transmit my science. It's going to take a little while because I don't have the big solar panels to charge things up, but that's okay. You know, Kerbals, they'll be fine here. I think they did testing for the Apollo program. They had the couple of people stay in one of the Apollo capsules for a day or two at sea to see how well they would survive. It must have been miserable. You couldn't get out of the capsule because if you open it, you risked losing everything. Anyways, I think we got enough for now. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Anything you'd like to know about how things actually work in rocket science and engineering. I know a little bit. Subscribe if you want to catch all of the latest episodes, and I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me.